What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
No Terrence today, but Micah, can you feel the excitement? We are less than a week from E3 2019.
Are we?
We are. I'm actually not as excited as I'm playing right now because it is a weird fucking E3 year.
Yeah, man. I totally forgot that it's June and it's E3 time. Wow.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like E3 is in literally 5 days as we're recording this right now. And you know it's E3 because our news docket, like our headline docket, our quick hit docket, is fucking gas to the gills, as they say, to use wrestling parlance. There's a shitload of E3 news. We're going to talk about what we want to see from E3, kind of our E3 wish list, I guess, later in the episode. I want to start by talking about something I teased last week, and that is my 1 week impressions, my hands-on impressions with the Oculus Quest.
Excellent.
Now, for those that maybe missed it or are unfamiliar, the Oculus Quest is the new VR headset that comes from Oculus that is completely wire-free, completely wireless, does not require a PC, does not require a game console, does not require cameras. It's the headset and it's the two controllers, and I have a charging cable for the headset, and that's it. That's all that comes in the box. Now, the way it works is it has 4 cameras mounted on the headset itself that are built into the headset. So that instead of having cameras around the room that can track you, the headset kind of tracks itself as far as where it is in relation to the room. And the way that you define your play space is actually pretty cool. So they have this system called the Guardian system inside of this headset. And the way it works is that when you first power it on and put it on your face, if it's in a room that it doesn't recognize, then it will show you your surroundings around you with a very low res camera, because the cameras are pretty low res. They just exist for space detection. Mm-hmm. And you can set up the Guardian, and the Guardian first detects where the floor is. And if it's wrong, you can just place one of your controllers on the floor so that it knows where the floor is. And then you can set that. And then you can literally define the space around you. And you don't have to make a perfect square. You can literally point your controller to where you want to go, hold the trigger, and it basically draws, you can draw around you. And then when you're done connecting that space together, it creates a box that you're playing in, essentially. And that's your space that you have to work with.
Okay.
So it works in, a smaller area. It can work in a huge area. If you're sitting or standing, if you're not going to be moving around, you're just going to stay in one place. You can also use a stationary Guardian that just basically creates a cylinder around you. And what's cool about it is when you're playing or doing something, when you get close to the Guardian, these grid lines will pop up in the world around you, so that it's a very unobtrusive way to tell you, hey, you're getting close to the edge. And if you happen to stick your face out of the Guardian, then you'll just see the room. It'll default back to the camera view. And when you stick your face back in, you're back in the VR headset world, basically. If that makes sense. Yeah. And if someone comes into your Guardian, you'll see them as well. It'll immediately switch to the camera view. So if someone invades your area, essentially, you won't be surprised by them. So no sneaking up on people while they're playing VR with this. So that part's pretty cool. The system's pretty intuitive. Once you get it on your face and set up and comfortable, it's pretty easy to go. So the 2 games that I've been playing most frequently are Beat Saber and Superhot. So Beat Saber was the first game that I got for it. And Beat Saber is really fun. Beat Saber is basically just Guitar Hero, but instead of playing guitar, you have 2 lightsabers in your hand that you're cutting blocks with in time with the music. It's very frantic. It's very fun. It's just a fun game to play. It's one of the best kind of VR experiences. It's something that only really works in VR. You couldn't play that game with a controller. And so that was a good introduction. But the game that really made things click for me was Superhot. Now, Mike, are you familiar with Superhot?
I am not.
Okay, so Superhot is kind of like you're in the Matrix. And it's a very stylistic, like action game, sort of like a puzzle game though at the same time, where you have like basically it's like you're in an action movie essentially, and you have like dudes coming at you, and there's weapons and all sorts of stuff that are around you in these, small areas, and you have to just kill everybody. And if you get hit with either gunfire or someone's fist, then you lose essentially. Now the regular console version of this game, I haven't played it without VR, so I believe the regular console version has you kind of like pre-programming what your movements are going to be, and then it's like, all right, and let's see if this works essentially. So you're like, all right, my dudes are going to come here, and he's going to pick up this gun, and he's going to shoot this guy, and then he's going to pick up the gun that he drops and turn around and shoot this other guy, and then you say, all right, I'm going to do this. Now you hit play and you see if it works, right? Like that's how you beat it. The VR version works a little differently. In the VR version, everything happens in real time, but time only moves when you move. So you can stand still and kind of plan out what you want to do. And then once you start to do it, that's when time moves around you. So it's literally like, all right, there's this gun next to me. So you reach over, you pick up the gun with the controller, wheel around and shoot this guy. And then like, there's like a shuriken in front of you because this other guy's coming from the other side of the room at you while this is going on. So you can pick up the shuriken and wing it at him and kill him that way. And so it's basically like it's like you're in a slow motion action movie kind of. Like it's almost like bullet time.
That's cool, man. Like a pause and play BioWare game.
Kind of sort of. And because like as people are shooting you, like the bullets are whizzing at you, so you can like duck out of the way before they get to you and shit like that. My wife saw me from afar playing Superhot, and she's like, "What were you playing?" And I was like, "Oh, this game called Superhot," and I kind of described to her, and she's like, "You looked like you were doing Tai Chi in the because you're doing all these like really slow, like elaborate movements, and you're trying to figure out what's going on." But the reason that really clicked with me is because that's the game where I would have trouble playing that game if I had a traditional wired headset. Like the PlayStation VR, it's only one wire, but it's still a wire that comes out of the back of the headset, so it's got to loop around your back and then come out from your front. So if you're playing Superhot, like you could trip over it. It's always there. It just reminds you that you're tethered to something.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing that the Quest does really well is it really fucking immerses you because you're not like tied to anything. You're not restricted to anything. So like as you're moving around the room, like while I was playing Superhot, like I had no idea where I was in relation to my living room. Like I didn't like unless I ran up to the Guardian where it's like, okay, I'm close to this edge here. I was just fucking in the world, like doing this shit. So like, like I said, that was kind of like the magic moment for me, if that makes sense. So, and that's what really kind of sold me on. And I think experiences like that require more range of motion are going to be where the Quest really shines. Like PlayStation VR can do Beat Saber really easily, and so can the Rift, which is like the high end Quest. Mm-hmm. But stuff like Superhot, I think, is where it's really going to excel, and that was really cool. Like that like I've had a lot of fun playing Superhot so far, and having a really good time with it. There are a couple other apps on there. They have a web browser. They have like YouTube, Netflix, stuff like that. It's a cool thing to use that stuff for as well. Like with YouTube, if it's a video that I don't care about having the best visual fidelity, it's kind of cool because it gives you like the movie theater experience when you're watching something. Mm-hmm. And you can like move shit around. And there's also like 360-degree videos that are specifically designed on YouTube that are pretty cool. Like, there's one on there that I saw that was like a virtual tour of Notre Dame before the fire happened. So you can kind of like, get like a bird's eye view and go into the cathedral and stuff like that. So for things like that, it's really neat. I got to say that if you are curious about VR, the Quest seems like a really cool way to kind of dip your foot into that water, if that makes sense, because you can get it as cheap as $400. Again, it doesn't require any additional hardware, like just what comes in the box. The controllers work pretty well. They're pretty ergonomically designed. battery life on them is good. I was a little miffed that they took AA batteries, but I've played for probably close to 10 hours total of VR stuff, and I'm only like 80% on both controllers, so you get a pretty good length of time out of the batteries. The headset only will hold a charge for 2 to 3 hours. Not a big deal because you're rarely going to be playing it for more than like 45 minutes to an hour at a time with that anyway. Haven't really noticed any fatigue, but I also have only been playing in like 30 to 45 minute sessions, so might not get to a point where fatigue is a big deal. But yeah, it's really fun. It's a pretty impressive piece of tech. And I think that if PlayStation can figure out a wireless VR headset, which I can't imagine why they couldn't, and I'm sure they're working on one right now, I think that might really be kind of the way to unlock VR for the masses, if that makes sense.
Yeah, when I see, I'm looking at a video of someone playing Superhot now, and normally when I see a VR game, it's very, I mean, they're all gimmicky, but it's nothing more than like a console game in like a panoramic view is what I feel like. Like I'm thinking of that bird game.
Oh,
That,
Eagle Flight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like games like that where you feel like you can easily play them without the VR headset. If you're talking about like getting up and moving and dodging bullets and like that seems very cool to me. Whereas usually when I see people play VR, it's just like they're just moving their hands and they're looking around. But if you tell me that I can like feel really immersed in it, yeah, that seems really cool.
Yeah, next you got to remind me next time we see each other to bring it with me.
Yeah,
because like I said, I think you would enjoy Superhot, especially. Like I said, it's even more than Beat Saber. It's kind of a really good way to kind of unlock what VR is all about.
Like this guy just picked up a coffee can and threw it at a guy's hand who had a gun in his hand trying to shoot him, and it knocked the gun out of his hand. Like that's cool, man.
Yeah, and like I said, you could find the best one was like these two dudes. There were two dudes on each side rushing me on this bridge, and the two guys in the front both had knives in their hands. So like as I'm like punching one dude and fucking like the knife falls out of his hands, I have to duck like the knife swipe from the other guy. But as I'm ducking, like I'm grabbing the knife as it's falling down, and then I just bring that across and fucking stab the other dude in the leg, and like that kind of shit is it's fun, man. Like I said, it's really cool. And again, it's just not having the cable, because I've messed with PlayStation VR, and you're always aware of the cable being there, right? And it's just one of those things that it's kind of hard to fully immerse yourself in the world that you're in. When you constantly have that, it's literally a tether to reality is what that cable is.
Yeah.
And the Quest fixes that issue. So I'm hoping to see more games for it. That's the only knock with the Quest right now is that the software library is still a little bare. I think there's about 50 games / experiences on there. And obviously, like of the 50, probably 10 of them are really worth checking out right now, which is fine for now, but I need to see more stuff as time goes along. But so far, like I said, first week impressions, it's pretty fucking cool. And I've been enjoying it so far.
Nice.
So anything new for you this past week?
Nah, man. I'm still just I'm still playing. My Switch is getting a workout. Just because, kind of
take it to work,
Mortal Kombat, and you could take this thing to work, and so that's all I'm doing. I'm starting Final Fantasy 12. I want to see what the difference between I love Final Fantasy 12. That's another game that's after finishing the very colorful and kind of like YA novel version of a Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 12 ain't fucking around. Like it takes itself very seriously. It's a stark contrast between the two games, considering like, Final Fantasy 11 doesn't really count because it's an online game. So, the coming off of Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2 where 10 is, a YA novel and 10-2 is Charlie's Angels. It's having this hyper serious, story about two warring nations and the people that get wrapped up in their struggle. It is different, but I really love that game. So
like I said, 12 was one that I never played, and I kind of wish that I had, because I have a feeling I would have liked it a lot more than I liked the games that bookended it. Not counting 11.
I think you would, if you could get used to the Gambit system, which is essentially an offline version of how an MMO plays, then you would love it, because the characters are good. It's got a really good story. It's got like intrigue in it. You know what I mean? Like it's very good. So if you ever see it on sale, pick it up for the Switch. It's really good, man.
Well, unfortunately, I'm still in that dauntless life, and also Season of Opulence also starts tomorrow in Destiny 2 with the menagerie. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting that and watching what ended up being a rather disappointing season 5 or season 7, I don't even know fucking what Season of the Drifter ended up being quite disappointing in the long run, mostly because of my fucking comp troubles that I talked about last week. So I'm looking forward to starting the new season tomorrow. Also tomorrow, Elder Scrolls Online Elsewhere comes out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. This is the new expansion for ESO that's adding like dragons and all sorts of other shit to the game that people have been asking for a long time. We're very ignorant to ESO, so we cannot speak on it intelligently, unfortunately.
Nope.
Persona Q2 comes out for the 3DS this week. Being as it is a new month, we have new free games that you get. We'll start with Xbox One. If you're an Xbox Live Gold member, during the entire month of June, you will get EA Sports NHL 19, which is the most recent edition of the NHL franchise, or at least will be for the next couple of months. So if you are enjoying the Stanley Cup Finals between the Boston Bruins and St. Louis Blues, you can get some hockey action for free. And then you also, in the second half of the month into July, can get Portal Still Alive, which is the 360 re-release of Portal. So if you have never played Portal, I would highly recommend checking that out as well. The first Portal, it's very short, but it's very cool, and there wasn't anything quite like it at the time when it first released.
No, not at all.
So
what a great game for VR.
Oh, that would be a wild game for VR. That might make me sick though, because I found the games that let you roam freely, don't sit well with me typically in VR. So because those are the ones that usually make me queasy. But if it's like stand in one place, but you can move freely in that one place, like that works much better for me generally. So Rivals of Aether is available in the back half of the month into July as well. And then Earth Defense Force 2017 from the Xbox 360 is available from June 16th through June 30th. Of course, all of the 360 titles are backwards compatible with Xbox One. Now, PlayStation is a very interesting month indeed. So, of course, PlayStation's only 2 games on PS4, but those 2 games are going to be Borderlands: The Handsome Collection and a lesser game, Sonic Mania.
I mean, I haven't played Sonic Mania, but
it's a Sonic game.
Yeah, I have to imagine it's a side-scrolling Sonic game, right?
It is, but so from what I understand, Sonic fans carry among them sing the praises of that game. They say it's a very good Sonic game. So if you are the type to like really poor controlling 2D side-scrolling platform games, then Sonic Mania will be a game for you. The rest of you can play Borderlands 2 and to a lesser extent the Borderlands pre-sequel. Obviously this is being done to prep for Borderlands 3. So if you somehow missed Borderlands 2 over the past 7 years, I would recommend checking that out as well.
Yeah, you don't really need to play the pre-sequel. It's not that great.
I still haven't played the pre-sequel. So
yeah, the characters aren't that memorable. It's really hard to top Borderlands 2 in terms of writing and character. And the pre-sequel didn't didn't do it. But yeah, Borderlands 2 is totally worth playing, and they have that that high res patch.
That's right. Which makes a
include.
huge difference, by the
Yeah,
way.
it
Because
does.
I played it before the patch came out, once I knew it was coming, and then I played it after the patch came out, and it literally is like night and day. It is hard to believe that we've actually come that far in the past 7 years in terms of visual fidelity. You don't notice it because it happened gradually, but like I said, you definitely noticed it with that for sure.
Yeah.
So on to the pre-E3 news, because holy shit, there are a lot of stories. The biggest news last week, arguably, is the announcement of the newest Call of Duty game, which is going to be called Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now, it's
not confusing at all.
No, it's not confusing at all. This is not a remake of any Modern Warfare game. This is a new game, but they are rebooting the Modern Warfare franchise using the characters from the Modern Warfare series, but rebooting it to envision the world of today. The big news that came alongside with this game is the fact that it's going to be completely cross-play platform. So it's going to be available. You can play against people on PS4, Xbox One, or PC, regardless of which platform you're playing the game on. And there's not going to be a season pass. All of the maps and post-launch content will be delivered to you for free.
I mean, you have to do that, right? If you're making it cross-platform against, the two major consoles and PC, you can't wall anything off, right? Like, I would imagine that would be more work for them.
Well, I think it's more of an indication that though they've not admitted it, and though Call of Duty is still incredibly popular, I think that they have noticed their sales probably have been dropping off, and more notably, the sales of the season pass have probably been dropping off for Call of Duty as well, just because there's way more competition out there than there ever has been.
Yeah, you can't have a $60 game and a $50 season pass.
Not anymore. I agree with you. I don't think that's a valid business practice.
No, not
in this day and age. So I think their mindset is, if we give you the maps for free, hopefully it'll keep you playing Call of Duty longer with your friends, instead of being like, oh, okay, well, that was fun for a month or two, but I don't feel like paying for the season pass, so I'll go back to Fortnite, or I'll go back to Apex Legends, or I'll go back to whatever.
So they have to have some sort of money-making component in this thing, right?
Well, they've had microtransactions in the Call of Duty games for the last few years, in terms of like, kill, what are they called? Calling cards. Like, when you kill somebody, they see your calling card on the screen from you killed them. And I think they have like weapon skins and stuff like that you can buy. So it's mostly, I think it's exclusively like customizable items, like, just vanity items, essentially.
Okay. I mean, look, as it should be. I mean,
right.
You don't want to dip your toe into items and shit that might affect gameplay.
Now, did you read any of the coverage of this game, by the way? The people that got to see it live and in person?
No, I just watched the trailer. I was confused by the name, because now there are 3 Call of Duty names under the moniker of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. There's Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare. But I Call of Duty is one of those like guilty pleasures for me. Like, I'm not good at those games, and I generally don't play a whole bunch of multiplayer, but they're like Michael Bay movies, man. Like, it's all about the military and just a bunch of ridiculous stuff happening, and the jingoist comes out of me when I play it, you know what I mean? So they are fun, and I enjoy the snappy arcadey feel of Call of Duty. This I actually kind of want to play it.
Well, with this one, so apparently they're really going for like gritty, like modern realism in this game. So if you've been wanting something that's kind of reflective of the times we live in, this might be it, and it might actually turn off quite a few people. So like, all the coverage that's been shared of the game talks about 2 missions that they got to see, and one of them is like, SAS soldiers coming in and infiltrating like a apartment building, basically. and they're not just fighting other soldiers. Like they're fighting, people who I guess might be terrorists, but it's not clear. Like it's just regular folks. They talk about how, a man takes a woman hostage and, the hostage, they shoot the guy and then the hostage grabs the rifle that the man was pointing at her and she's shot. And then, a suspect takes cover behind a wall and they shoot through the drywall and kills him. And, a guy hides under a bed, but they can see the barrel of his gun. So they spray the mattress down and so he's, he dies as well. So it's a very, like I said, it's not quite as defined as the previous Call of Duty games.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm looking at just a one sentence, plot point that Modern Warfare will be heavy on troubling, realistic, emotional moments and being compared to thematic elements of the controversial No Russian mission from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I don't know if I want that, man.
Well, and like the other thing they talk about is there's like a flashback event, right? And you're somewhere in the Middle East, and stop me if you've heard this before, in terms of real life stuff. Russian soldiers are occupying an area and a young girl awakens to the sight of her, dead mother's corpse, basically, that was killed by a Russian bombing raid. And she, a Russian soldier tries to coax her out of hiding, and she manages to stab him with a screwdriver and grab his gun and kill him. And, and you're a child, like you're a child playing this part of the game, essentially. And it's like a flashback to, I guess, someone who you'll play as, in modern times as an adult. But it's like, it's almost kind of like you watched Jack Ryan, right?
Yeah.
On Amazon this year. So it's almost akin to like the episode where, you kind of find like the terrorist origin story, almost like where you find out like the Syrian bombing run that his family was involved in, that kind of made him the way he was, or that started the path, if that makes sense. So those are like real fucking heavy, relatable to, current events fucking themes. Cause like what I just described to you could be Syria. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Like in modern times.
You know what? I'm really disappointed in that. And I don't like when art tries to ape real life purely for the purpose of entertainment, because this isn't going to, I can't imagine this is going to speak to something. I can't imagine the underlying message of this game is going to be war is hell. And even if they try to do that, the people buying this game aren't going to realize it. Wow, that's a really big turnoff, man.
I mean, it's asking a lot of your audience, I think, to kind of get down with that. And I guess you don't have to play the campaign if you don't want to, and there's plenty of folks that won't.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like it's hard to us to speak on it because neither of us ever served in the military or anything like that. I don't know. It seems like to me that might be really difficult to handle, especially if you did serve. Like, could you imagine if you did serve in areas? And I mean, there's a lot of talk right now about, soldiers being put on trial for war crimes because of stuff that they did that was fucking grossly offensive. Right. Serving in like in Iraq and Afghanistan, stuff like that. So it's I don't know. Gritty realism is it's almost appreciated, but it's like I don't know if you really do want that. Yeah, but at the same time, they need to do something to freshen up the Call of Duty franchise, and I guess this is it.
I mean, the one game that did.
You mean Spec Ops probably is
what Spec Ops is what I'm thinking of. It took a situation where it was Spec Ops: The Line. It's a military cover shooter basically, and throughout the course of the game, the main character starts being mentally affected by everything that's going on. I think that game did an admirable job of, digging into the psyche of what happens to these guys, some of these people, in war. But wow, I don't know if Call of Duty can can pull this off, man.
We're gonna find out in October.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
but we'll see. But I mean, like I said, when I read that, like it literally like made me like I don't know if I want to experience those things. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't seem fun to me.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean? So
like shock value for the sake of shock value is just the lowest form of.
I don't even know if it's that, honestly. Like I really don't know if it's and I mean they have a history of it, so I guess it's fair to assume it is, but I don't even know if it's shock value for the sake of shock value. It's just I don't know if I want to experience that, conflicting of a story, if that makes sense.
I don't mind that, but you gotta.
Well, and especially and the reason why, and we can put a pin in this and move on because I don't want to get too bogged down in it, is because the game is not going to give you, or at least I don't think it will. I don't think the game is going to give you the level of agency that such subject matter deserves to have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're going to have to do these things probably.
Yeah.
Whether you want to or not.
Otherwise you have to turn the game off. Like,
right, or you get a game over screen. Right. Like the one thing with No Russian was shocking, but No Russian did at least give you agency in how you acted during the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we'll see. It's an interesting direction for them to go. I understand why they're doing it. I just don't know if it's the right answer, but we'll find out. So, switching gears completely from that, if I know there's a lot of people out there that love Pokemon, and if you are such a fan of Pokemon that you're like, man, it really fucking sucks when I have to go to bed because all I want to do is catch Pokemon. Well, there is a game for you, and that is going to be Pokemon Sleep, which is literally an app that is going to do for sleeping what Pokemon Go did for walking. Pokemon is transforming sleep into entertainment. That is a quote from this reveal event that they did. So in 2020, this app is coming out, and the app will monitor users' sleep patterns and reward them for time spent sleeping. The concept of the game is for players to look forward to waking up every morning, said Sunkatsu Ishihara, who is the CEO of the Pokemon Company. And if you thought that the Pokemon Go Plus was a fantastic controller to use for Pokemon Go, well, just wait until you get a hold of the Pokemon Go Plus, which is coming out for Pokemon Sleep. This is a disc-shaped Pokeball, and basically you will be able to store Pokemon in it, just like you can with the Pokeball. But it's a sleep monitoring device thanks to a built-in accelerometer that you can connect to your mobile phone. And it will track simple information about how long you sleep and deliver that information to the app. And I guess the better you sleep, the better the rewards you'll get in training your Pokemon.
I mean, what are we doing?
When I first saw this announced, I thought it was a joke because I saw Pokemon Sleep and then I saw the Pokemon Go Plus. And I'm like, these guys aren't even trying hard. Like, this is obviously bullshit. And I found out that it's real.
I don't know what to say to this. This seems kind of dumb, but it's going to be the hottest thing in gaming. It's going to be a craze. There'll be news reports about people sleeping, trying to play Pokemon. Like it.
Now when you're a teenager and you sleep from midnight to 2 p.m. the next afternoon, and your parents are like, Billy, why the hell did you sleep for 14 hours? You're like, Ma, I'm trying to train on Pokemon. Look at how much better. Look at how many stats it gained while I was asleep this entire time.
God damn it.
I get what they're trying to do, and it's a worthy cause that they are trying to take up, but it's still so fucking silly.
Yeah, man.
It's a fucking silly story.
It's also a sad one too when you have to
resort to video games to help resolve your shitty sleep patterns.
Right. Like you got to get people to sleep better, so you got to make a game to do it. Like it's like a parent saying, "Okay, let's play a game. Who can be silent the longest?" Like, just shut up. Just go to sleep. But all right.
So look forward to that coming to a phone near you next year. So an 8-minute trailer was released for Death Stranding.
Man, video games are weird, man.
Video games are fucking weird. The trailer showed us that the game is coming out November the 9th, which I think was, or November 8th, which I think was a surprise to a lot of people. And we probably understand the purpose of this game about 10% more than we did before going into it. So we're just gonna talk about. I'm gonna quote directly from Hideo Kojima, because what the fuck else can you do? People have created walls and become accustomed to living in isolation. Death Stranding is a completely new type of action game where the goal of the player is to reconnect isolated cities and a fragmented society. It is created so that all elements, including the story and gameplay, are bound together by the theme of strand or connection. As Sam Porter bridges, you will attempt to bridge the divides in society, and in doing so, create new bonds or strands with other players around the globe. Through your experience playing the game, I hope you'll come to understand the true importance of forging connections with others.
First of all, like, his name is Sam Porter Bridges as he goes to connect one. Right. Okay, we get it. You didn't have to say as he attempts to bridge the divides in society. Like, we get it. We get it. You're not as deep as you think you are. Like, okay, man. God damn it. I miss Kojima. Look, you say what you want about Konami, man, but in the beginning, I have a feeling that people at Konami were like, "Yo, what are you talking about, yo? We can't put this in the game, man." Like this is what happens when you give a creative carte blanche to do whatever you want, and there's no one to check them. This is why there are editors in film, because otherwise people would have 3-hour Mission Impossible movies.
Now, apparently, there's no game over screens in the game. Like, you can never truly lose when you die or fail. You get like transported to like the BT world. Like the fucking enemies in the game are called BTs, and like you can fight out of the BT world, like fucking Kratos fighting out of Hades, I guess, in God of War. It's the babies are apparently like a commodity in the game. They're called bridge babies. Apparently they're used to help detect these BTs, essentially. Norman Reedus is BFS with the president of the United States, who's dying, and she sends him out to reconnect America. Like, that's literally the plot of the game. There's gameplay in the trailer. It looks very 2008 level Metal Gear Solid style gameplay. Like, yeah, I was not impressed by the gameplay in this trailer.
Yeah, man. He's even got like the same running animation. Like, it doesn't. I'm sorry, man. Like, I know there's a lot of people who love Hideo Kojima, but you're letting your love for Metal Gear blind you, man. Like, I am not impressed by this thing at all.
No wonder he's been playing coy for so long.
Like, I don't want to go on a hike. I don't want to rappel down this rock face. Like,
well, Mike, you don't have to rappel. You can create a ladder, and you can ladder your way down the side of the rock.
And this thing is like the ratio of actual gameplay to cutscene, stylized, in-engine cutscene, but cutscene gives me all I need to know about how much I'm just going to be watching this thing instead of playing it. If I were to get it, I'm not getting this thing.
It does seem like a game where the concept is the most important thing to Kojima.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the gameplay is going to be that good.
I don't think so, man. It is the typical like stealth elements, right? And
but at the same time, we still don't know shit about this game. Like this was the smallest amount of information that we could have received.
I mean, look, I don't necessarily mind the fact that we don't know too much about it. Like, I got a plot. Like, that's all I really needed, right? I got an elevator pitch for what this story is going to be. You know, most people they give too much. This guy's not giving away too much. So I'm fine with that. I'm just not like all of this, like all of the lead up to it and people talking about it, like I'm just not impressed with what I'm looking at. Like, it's just weird. And weird doesn't impress me anymore. Like,
yeah. I need more. I need more. Like, I need you to show me like a mission. You know what I mean? Like I need to see a full mission from like beginning to end, if such a thing even exists inside of this game.
Yeah.
So, that being said, Matt looks like he's probably gonna be the best part of this entire fucking game.
I mean,
based on the trailer.
He's, you know, he's the best.
His character is at least the in all the different permutations that you see him.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of mystery still surrounding that character. In the way he's presented, at least. In the trailer,
like Kojima's games, like those Metal Gear games, you know, their story is all over the place, but they did have like an overall plot, like theme about,
and they also had really memorable characters. And that's, that's the other thing too that I'm missing here is I'm not aside from Matt Mikkelsen, who seems cool. None of the characters are really drawing me in that much.
You know, Metal Gear had like bounty hunters who could hold, you know, 50 cals with one hand, and vampires and ninjas and a guy speaking through a disembodied arm and quick, like they had really like wacky characters. And I don't mind a bunch of cuts. Well, I do kind of mind a bunch of cutscenes in a video game, but it helps if the characters are unique. These characters don't seem unique. They're just a bunch of famous people. And it essentially is just a bunch of stunt casting. And stunt casting doesn't do it for me, because I can see Benicio del Toro in anything, or Guillermo del Toro in anything. I can see Mads Mikkelsen in movies. I don't want my video games to be movies. I mean, I know a couple of people are excited about this. I know more than a couple of people are excited about this. I'm sure there's a ton of people who are excited, but
I feel like that's still being reputation driven rather than
anything
you're seeing from the game so far.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%.
This week, the latest, and Microsoft really doesn't want you to buy an Xbox. Xbox Game Pass is now coming to PC. The Xbox Game Pass service is going to soon offer a curated library of over 100 high-quality PC games on Windows 10, Microsoft announced last week. Phil Spencer says it is, quote, a new experience that we are building together with the PC community. The list of 100 PC games will come from publishers like Bethesda, Deep Silver, Devolver Digital, Paradox Interactive, and Sega. Also quoting Spencer, and just as we committed on the console, it is our intent to include new games from Xbox Game Studios in the Xbox Game Pass for PC the same day as their global release, including titles from newly acquired studios like Obsidian and In Exile. We are working with over 75 developers and publishers to bring PC content to the service, and will ensure the library remains curated and full of great PC titles across a variety of genres, with new games added every month. Why?
Some really good corporate speak there. Look, you got I don't know why.
It seems like Microsoft is not bowing out of the hardware race.
Certainly not.
But it makes it seem like that their opinion on the hardware race is negligible, which makes me really fucking wonder what the next Xbox is supposed to be. If this is their approach towards hardware.
I think they're playing the long game. I think they very clearly have given up on this generation, and they're working on the next one behind the scenes, but they're doing stuff like this to keep their name out there. You don't want people to forget about you.
Yeah, but then you're going to turn around and ask people to buy another $500 console in a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I see what you're saying. But at the same time, like, let's not pretend that people won't rush out to do it because it's the newest, shiniest thing.
I know, and I know that if you're playing on PC, you're playing on Windows still, and Microsoft's still getting you on that end as well. I don't know. It just seems really fucking curious. It just seems really curious, and especially again the day and date releases on that you're getting on as part of Games Pass for free as well. I don't know. Like I just feel like if I'm someone who has access to even a decent PC, I would never need to own an Xbox. Never feel compelled to own an Xbox.
Is this Game Pass? It's not like separate. It's all one. They're just including PC games into the already existing Game Pass model, right?
Yeah. So if you subscribe to Game Pass on your Xbox One, I guess that you can also do it on the PC now, or you will be able to once this rolls out.
Okay.
But it's just like, again, if you have access to a PC, but you still want a console, like right now, your choice is going to be, well, I'm going to get whatever PlayStation comes out with because I don't need to buy an Xbox because I'm playing it already on a PC.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's weird because Microsoft, I think, is positioned to be the leader in this next console generation, learning the mistakes that they made from this current console generation.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've always found the extension to PC for Microsoft to be a curious endeavor, and it just continues to be more curious as time goes along. And I also don't trust them completely either. Like I'm still very wary of this. Let's break down the borders and let's connect everybody. And now we're doing it for the gamer. I'm like, this seems like a very convenient position to take when things are not going too well for you.
Yeah.
And I don't trust you to be as benevolent. I don't know. Like I said, I've been around a little too long and I'm a little too cynical just to take the shit at face value.
Yeah, it screams of like Sony's film division, right? Like, oh no, we want to let Marvel have Spider-Man because we care about everybody. By the way, here's a Venom movie. by the way, put Venom in the MCU. Put Venom in there. Put Venom in there. Put him in there. Like that's what it reminds me of. But we'll see. Look, I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh, I'm not getting the next Xbox, but I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna get Xbox Game Pass until I see something substantial on it. Like
right.
there is a ton of Microsoft games that I can already play, or I don't know.
That's the other thing too. I feel like that they're sort of putting the cart before the horse with this. Like right now, there just ain't a whole lot of great Microsoft games to want to play on Games Pass.
Yeah, like,
there hopefully will be.
Like I wonder how Game Pass is going to work when they're firing on all cylinders and they have first and second party studios making a bunch of cool shit for them. I wonder if that day and date thing is going to still stick around.
We'll see. That'd be kind of crazy if they fucking pulled that shit
man.
after giving it to you for so long. But we will find out. Something that we can't really talk about. Terrence could probably elaborate more if he was here. Apex Legends Season 2 Battle Pass is going to have challenges and better rewards than the Season 1 did. There'll be more information on this on June 8th during the EA Play live stream, which you can find the schedule for, by the way, if you go to EA's website. They have that information for you there. Larian Studios, who developed Divinity Original Sin, has teased their next game, and based on the teaser, it seems like it might be Baldur's Gate 3. I have never played the Baldur's Gate games, Micah. I don't know if you have.
I have not, but everyone swears by those games.
Okay, so maybe something to look forward to there. And again, look forward to hopefully more information coming for that for E3. That's what a lot of these are going to be right now. These last couple news stories here. Yeah. Surprising Ghostbusters, the video game from 2009, is getting a HD remaster on Nintendo Switch, PS4, Windows PC, and Xbox One sometime this year. I enjoyed this game when it came out. I don't necessarily know that I need a remaster of it. I don't know that I need to experience it again.
What an odd game to remaster.
Well, I think it's because the Ghostbusters 30th anniversary or 35th anniversary is 35th. Hang on a second. It's fucking 84. Yeah, it's 35th anniversary is this year. So I guess this is part of a celebration of that.
How about you celebrate with a movie?
As far as I'm concerned, this game is Ghostbusters 3. Like it's a better Ghostbusters 3 than anything they could possibly put out. And look, Harold Ramis is in this, and he's dead now. So anything they do Ghostbusters wise on film will not have him in it, and therefore will not be valid to me because Harold Ramis on the sly is the real MVP of the Ghostbusters films.
You know what? You're right. Yeah, I didn't play this game.
Oh, really? You didn't?
Yeah, I didn't play this game.
It's surprisingly good, and if you're a Ghostbusters fan, there's a whole lot to enjoy about it.
Like I like Ghostbusters, but the people who are obsessed with this franchise and who were so butthurt that well, you weren't butthurt about.
No, I wasn't butthurt about the movie, but I am a huge Ghostbusters fan.
Look, I totally get it, right? I totally get it, but it just didn't click with me the way some movie franchises, Back to the Future and Indiana Jones and Star Wars, those clicked with me. I just really like Ghostbusters, and the only reason I like Ghostbusters 2 is because they controlled the Statue of Liberty with a Nintendo arcade stick. That's the only reason I like it. And Vigo, it's Vigo. I like that guy saying Vigo. Look, I guess I'm happy for fans.
I would tell you if this is $30, like when it comes out, it's worth $30 to check it out. You would enjoy it. It's a good game.
If it's 30, I'll get it. If it's 30,
it better not cost 60. If it costs 60, they can go fuck themselves.
No, I think it'll cost 40.
Yeah, like I enjoyed this game, but it needs to cost $30 is the right price for this game. And look, if you missed this game when it came out, it's got the entire original cast reprising their roles as the Ghostbusters, which is fucking outrageous that's something that's true. Yeah, and it's got a couple other, like Alyssa Milano is in it. Brian Doyle Murray, Bill Murray's brother, who ends up in all these Bill Murray films, is in it as well. It's faithful to the Ghostbusters lore. There's a lot of fucking fan service in the game. It's good. It's definitely worth checking out if you like Ghostbusters and somehow did not play this game.
Does Bill Murray care? Because when he doesn't care, you can really tell, man.
Yeah. Ernie Hudson really cares. Not surprisingly, Ernie Hudson and Dan Aykroyd are the most enthusiastic performances in this game. Look, Bill Murray is there, and he's being Peter Venkman. That's really all you can ask for.
Is he being Peter Venkman, or is he being Garfield being Peter Venkman?
It was fine. Look, he mailed it in, but it's better than him not being there. Better than him not being there. Again, it's a solid game, and it's worth checking out. I'm shocked that it's coming back out in a remaster.
Yeah,
that I can't believe. Something that I totally can believe, Shenmue 3 delayed until November. It was supposed to come out in August.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
No
do
shit.
You think it'll be delayed again?
Yeah, because Londi has a way of just slipping away. So
he's not even supposed to be in this game, allegedly.
Yo, what are they doing? Like you're just gonna abandon the quest of trying to find a man that killed your father? All right, yo. All right. Look, I'm not surprised, but if it comes out, it comes out. I don't even care anymore. I really don't. I really don't even care anymore.
Watch this be like one of the best games of the console generation, and no one's gonna see it coming.
Yeah, because they won't know when it comes out.
Google getting ahead of the E3 hubbub. They announced today that they will be revealing Stadia games, price, and launch details on June 6th. So if you want to check that out, it is streaming at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific on YouTube this coming Thursday. We will have more information on that whenever we do whatever we're doing for E3 next week. if it's really consequential, we might do like an emergency pod, but we'll see. We'll see how consequential that news is. Apple announced today at WWDC that Apple TV is going to gain support for PS4 and Xbox One controllers. That's pretty cool, especially if you want to play games on your Apple TV that you can use the controllers that you already have in your home. So that's something there. Spawn, Nightwolf, and Sindel have joined Shang Tsung as confirmed Mortal Kombat 11 DLC characters that are going to be coming out for the game. Ash from the Evil Dead and the Terminator are the two characters that are rumored to fill out the DLC roster for Mortal Kombat 11. Micah, I'm not the biggest Mortal Kombat fan, but to me, Sindel and Nightwolf feel sort of underwhelming as far as new characters.
Yeah, they are. Nobody likes Nightwolf. Nobody likes Nightwolf. But the reason that those two are in the game is because I assume they didn't want to bring in too many duplicates from Mortal Kombat X.
Mm-hmm.
And Nightwolf and Sindel were featured in that game. And the last time you were able to play as either one of them was Mortal Kombat 2009. And those two probably have a higher Q rating than, Striker.
Well, everybody has a higher Q rating than fucking Striker.
Right.
Nobody wants Striker back in the game.
Right. Which is why you have 3 guest characters, because nobody really cares about them. But Spawn, I'm very, very interested to see what he looks like and how he plays. Well, he'll play like a Mortal Kombat character. They all play the same, but different. But I'm curious to see what he looks like. And Ash and Evil Dead was a franchise I never got into, so I just know that Ash Williams is the guy with the chainsaw arm. And the Terminator, I mean, depending on which Terminator you pick, you don't think it'll just be the
skeletonized robot?
I would hope it's the T-800, but right. I would hope that they would try to get Arnold's likeness,
because that seemed like that might be a little difficult to do.
100%. Yeah, but at the same time, I don't want just the endoskeleton.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like this game about blood and gore, and you're gonna murder the endoskeleton? No, right?
So don't know if you saw, by the way, Keith David, who voiced Spawn in the HBO animated Spawn series, will be playing the voice of Spawn.
Well, that is just, I mean, that is reason to buy the combat pack alone. That Spawn HBO show was really, really good.
Now the only problem is I don't know anybody, and I mean anybody, that's still playing Mortal Kombat 11, even just 6 weeks after it launched.
Yeah, and you didn't really hear too much. You didn't really hear anything about this until this trailer. Like usually, NRS has their marketing is a little better than this, but like think about the different combat packs with Mortal Kombat X. Like they had fully produced trailers, and you can get a glimpse of what each one of the characters looks like. Like this is just like, here's Sindel, Nightwolf, Spawn, and a couple other people that we ain't sure we finalized that we can get the rights yet. Look, Mortal Kombat is a good game, but it's got a lot of bullshit with it, and instead of like, and they're like tripling down on the bullshit with the different towers with the different like gimmick matches and stuff like that, and those gimmick matches aren't fun. And so I don't know, but Spawn, y'all, not since Soul Calibur 2.
Yeah.
Soul Calibur 2, you can get Spawn, and I mean, I didn't know Keith David was going to voice Spawn like that. That really gets me excited.
Finally, this news broke right before we started recording. Watch Dogs Legion has leaked, and weirdly, it has a very ambitious feature in that you can play as anybody in the game, any NPC that you recruit to your Watch Dogs faction, you're apparently able to play as. They have a full set of animations, voiceover, character traits, and visuals that are, I guess, generated by the gameplay systems. So very ambitious if that's the case. This was leaked by Amazon UK, and it's been confirmed by many sources inside of Ubisoft, and it's coming from Jason Schreier of Kotaku. So I am wants to believe it, based on that. And apparently, that the system is so ambitious that it's been causing the developers a lot of frustration and has led to at least one delay for the game so far. So I'm sure we'll hear more about this during Ubisoft's E3 press conference. But what is your knee-jerk reaction to Watch Dogs Legion, which takes place in London, by the way?
I really like Watch Dogs 2. Part of the reason I like Watch Dogs 2 is not just because the main character was black, but that the main character had personality, whereas Aiden Pierce, I think his name was, didn't really have too much personality. I love open world games. I love London. London is a great walking city, which is good for an open world game. I am excited that the game is coming out. I did not know about this whole you can be anyone thing. I worry about how a story is crafted when there is no main character. Mm-hmm. So, that gives me pause, but I'm a fan of the franchise, so I'm looking forward to it, to see what, more.
Okay. Yeah, I've never really been keen on the Watch Dogs game, so I don't really have too much to say, but I am interested to learn more about this this apparent system that they have in the game. And like you said, it is concerning that how is the story going to be constructed around that? So,
yeah.
But like I said, we'll find out. Before we get to our main topic this week, don't forget to go to youtube.com/densepixels, click the red subscribe button, ring the bell icon. We post this podcast in video format every week. I also posted an unboxing video of the Oculus Quest last week, and I streamed some Dauntless as well. So if I'm ever streaming gameplay, it's going to be on the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. So again, youtube.com/densepixels. We are raring and rolling after some stuttering for the past couple months on the premium side of TNP Studios. So you would do yourself a huge favor this week to go to densepixels.com/premium. At least put down the $5 that it takes to get premium for a month. You may be back to put down the $50 it takes to get premium for a year, because this week alone, you are getting a new episode of Airing Grievances. You're, of course, getting a new episode of Look Forward. You're getting a watch-along of X-Men Apocalypse with Jay, Micah, and Terrence, where Jay and Terrence both got half drunk, and Micah, I'm sure, was drunk in feelings of rage watching X-Men Apocalypse. And the pièce de résistance of premium this week, the long-awaited, one might even say that you guys out there were gagging for it, episode of The Men with the Golden Tongues, featuring myself, Micah, and Jay, where we review film classic Mission Impossible 2. It's a really good episode of The Men with the Golden Tongues.
Yeah, it is.
Aside from, it's not as good. It's not as good as the Die Another Day episode, but it's in the top 3 in my estimation.
Yeah.
In my estimation.
You're gonna have a good time listening, because good Lord.
So again, that is densepixels.com/premium. Again, subscribing even just for a month gives you access to the entire back catalog of shows, so you can listen back to those as well. Hundreds of hours of content there right now, and a lot of it being evergreen also. And then don't forget to go to whatever pod-catching app you use and subscribe to this show, subscribe to the Nerdpocalypse, subscribe to Black on Black Cinema, and subscribe to Coming Distractions so that you never miss any of the TNP Studios content. And finally, if you want to help contribute to the podcast financially, if you use Amazon, whenever you use it, go to densepixels.com/Amazon. You'll pay the same low price, but we will get a small percentage of anything that you buy, which again helps go towards buying stuff that we need to keep the lights on and keep it free for you guys here on Dense Pixels. So, topic this week, there really is only one topic that it could be. As we mentioned, we are less than a week away from the E3 festivities beginning. Now, we're not going to do like predictions, normal run-of-the-mill predictions, because it doesn't seem as fun this year. I'm not buying into the E3 hype that we usually do. Usually me and Micah are the fucking biggest E3 cheerleaders, and then we got Terrence the E3 Scrooge, over here being all mad about like I don't fucking care about trailers. I don't give a shit. They just show me trailers. I don't fucking care. Show me gameplay. If you don't have a gameplay demo, I don't fucking care about your game. It doesn't probably make a difference. But me and Micah are like the kids on Christmas. As cynical and as jaded as we are during the regular part of the year, E3 somehow thaws our icy hearts and gets us excited about video games. But this year, it's just not here.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is, man. Like, normally when you come towards the end of a console cycle, you start thinking about what is on the horizon, right? But I don't know. Like I'm content with where video games are right now and the pace at which, technology is moving and how certain games are coming out. So all that might change when I'm actually like every year, right? I don't really care about E3. I don't really care about E3. And then June comes around and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of excited, But now it's just like, once I sit down and actually watch something, then maybe I'm hoping to get excited.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think part of the reason too is because normally, like the conference that we're most anticipating is not going to be there this year. Like Sony's not going to be at E3. Nintendo is doing the Nintendo Direct thing, and as informative as those are, and as decent as they've been, it does not replace seeing Reggie on stage. You know what I mean? Or in this case, it'd be Doug Bowser on stage at E3. Microsoft is still doing their thing, and this is kind of their year to shine. But I don't know what to expect from them. They said they have 14 first party titles that are being going to be shown off at the stage. Those will be in varying stages of development. We don't know what some of them are going to be, so I guess that's something to look forward to as well. As shitty as EA's conferences usually are, it's at least something to look forward to, but they're not doing a traditional presentation this year. They're doing live streams that are being hosted by a variety of folks where they can, I guess, take deep dive looks at their different games. Ubisoft, we probably know what we're getting from them, especially with this leak now. The Watch Dogs reveal is not going to surprise us at this point in time. So we're going to just, I guess, talk about what we want to see from E3, what we think we'll see, and maybe things that we wish to see from E3. Now, I think the biggest wild card in all of this is probably Square. They took the Sony spot, the 9 p.m. Monday slot. We know they're revealing the Avengers game. And I guess that's as good a place to start as any, because I'd say of all the major games that are going to be shown at E3, that's probably the one that I think people are most curious about. Now, I don't really have skin in that game because I don't give a fuck about the Avengers, but Micah, you do. So what are you hoping to see from this Avengers game that's Square?
I don't know, man. Maybe something like an old school 4-player co-op game, or I'm afraid it's going to be like Kingdom Hearts or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want Kingdom Hearts Avengers. You know what I mean? I also don't want, like, there was a video a long time ago of the supposed Avengers game, but it was in like first person. I didn't like that at all. I mean, when you have a game with like an ensemble, cast like that, I maybe like a well, but maybe like a Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but they're already doing Marvel Ultimate Alliance, so
Yes, they are.
so I don't really, I don't know. I'm very curious. I'm very curious to see what this is, but I'm not getting too excited because I feel like I'm going to be disappointed.
I'm also wary of Square anyway because their presentations are never very good, at least from an entertaining perspective. I mean, they're going to have Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm sure they're going to show us more than they showed us in
I
that little
mean,
teaser
you
a
kind of
little while
have
ago.
to.
At this point, you do.
To.
You don't have Kingdom Hearts to lean on as a crutch
Right.
anymore. There's some speculation that we'll see the reveal of a new numbered Final Fantasy game. Do you think that it's time for Final Fantasy 16 to debut?
I mean, if you want to just see a title card, then yeah, sure, why not? I mean, like whatever they show, it's gonna be 5 years away, and they're probably gonna scrap it for the offshoot game that they're making in tandem with it. So, I would be surprised if I saw another Final Fantasy. When did Final Fantasy 15 come out?
3 years ago. So,
and they've been milking Final Fantasy 15.
But it's done now. Like they're done.
Yeah,
the tab is turned off. So
yeah, and I don't think they will turn right around. Is what I'm saying.
I'm not saying like it's going to come out soon. I'm just saying that
But I'm saying I hope they don't announce it, because I don't want them to announce, hey, there's a new Final Fantasy coming, and because you know how they traditionally do, right? Like they'll show you some pre-rendered cutscene of something that will end up inevitably looking completely different by 5 years from now. I would be surprised. I hope I'm wrong. I love Final Fantasy. Who doesn't love Final Fantasy, right? I think you'll get a lot of Final Fantasy, what is it, 14? I think they just had an expansion come out or something like that. I think you'll get when was the last Tomb Raider game that came out?
It just came out. You're not going to see anything from Tomb Raider this year. It just came out last year.
And and the Square have Hitman?
They do. No, they don't. They don't. They got rid of that actually. Wait, no, WB had it. Dude, I don't know what I think the Hitman folks are self-publishing now, actually. So
okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of off table. Maybe another Deus Ex, Micah? You think we're gonna get another Deus Ex game to piggy? There's no fucking way that we're getting another Deus Ex game.
No, I can't. No, not at all.
I mean, I so for me, and to pivot off of Square, I'm dying for a reason to be excited about Microsoft, and specifically about Microsoft first party studios. Microsoft has been a company as from their games perspective that has never quite clicked with me. Never really played Halo. Gears of War I didn't really get into. Like, it's fine, it's whatever. Obviously Forza is not really my bag, and by the way, apparently there's not going to be a Forza 8 coming out this year, which is shocking.
Really?
If that's the case. But Microsoft has never excited me. Like, though I've owned several Xboxes over the years, I've never felt compelled to own one. And I usually end up getting rid of it because it just sits there, never getting played. Because any multi-platform game that I have, I'm usually playing it on the PlayStation. So Microsoft has a huge opportunity to fucking crush it this year. Their two major competitions are nowhere to be seen. I mean, Nintendo's going to do what Nintendo's going to do, but for the most part, Microsoft has the stage exclusively to themselves. They get to set the tone for E3 because they're the first official E3 presentation that you're going to see. EA's thing doesn't really fucking count because it's being done off-site anyway. But Microsoft has it in their hands to spit some hot fire and get people really excited about Xbox. And when I say that, I'm not talking about fucking having 18 trailers like world premiere, but it's also gonna be a PS4. World premiere, but it's gonna be a PS4. Exclusive console reveal, but again, the game is coming out on PS4. Like that was literally 90% of what their presentation was last year. And people thought that like, oh, like look at Microsoft, like they're showing all the games. I'm like, yeah, but all these games that they're showing that you got excited about, you're gonna be able to play on PS4 anyway. The only reason that PlayStation is not showing them is because PlayStation wanted to focus exclusively on first party this year, and they had to go somewhere. So I really hope Microsoft takes that seriously, and they realize, and I think they do, because they've been buying up a million studios, that they realize that their first party stuff has to come, and it has to come really strong. So I'm begging for them to give me a reason to give a shit about owning an Xbox at some point, and it's up to them to kind of execute that and pull that off.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you're gonna get. I think we're gonna get the trailer showcase, but what did they say? 14 first party titles.
14 first party titles. But again, what does that mean?
Yeah,
what does that mean? Like, obviously we're gonna get an extended look at Gears of War, I'm sure.
Right.
Obviously, we're gonna get maybe another nugget of information about Halo Infinite. Probably not gameplay, but you might get a little bit about Halo Infinite. Ori is going to be one of the games they show off. How I don't know how the fuck that game hasn't come out yet. I feel like I've been hearing about Ori 2 for like the past 3 years. But that's another first-party Microsoft game that they're going to talk about. Go ahead.
Do you think we'll get another Fable?
No, that studio I don't even think exists anymore. Does it?
Let me find out. But
Lion's Heads or whatever it was called.
I'm just trying to figure out what they could possibly do.
I mean, Obsidian's still going to be promoting the Outer Worlds. I don't know if they're going to be ready to talk about what they're doing for Microsoft now that they're in the Microsoft employ. We might get the first game from Ninja Theory, or at least the first glimpse of the first game from Ninja Theory with Microsoft. But yeah, I don't know what to expect. But I hope it's something good.
Yeah, I mean, like we don't know what to expect. That's a good thing, though.
Yeah,
right. That's a good thing.
Only if they surprise you, though. Like only if they leave you feeling optimistic about where they're headed with their first party studios.
There's the rub.
I'm saying. and that's the thing, like I think that's my biggest problem this year is that Ubisoft, I'm not particularly excited about what Ubisoft's going to show. Like I would think the thing that they're going to show the most is Beyond Good and Evil 2. That's not a series that I have a real personal connection with, and they have to make me care about that game to get me excited about that game.
Yeah, nobody has a personal connection with it. Everyone says they want it. Nobody's played it. Like nobody's played that first game. Nobody's played that first game, hence why they're only making a sequel now. That game came out, that was a PS2 game?
Was it PS2? I think it might have been PS1.
Either or. Like it skipped a few console generations.
Right.
Because nobody cares.
EA, sure, I'd like to see what new shit's coming to FIFA this year. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, I'm not fucking hyped about that game. I'm not gonna be unless that game blows me away with what they show at EA Play this year. So they're fighting from the high 8 ball. Bethesda, unless you're showing me gameplay of Starfield, that's all I care to see from you. Anything else you got that ain't Starfield, I'm not fucking interested.
I'm very, you know what? I am interested in that press conference because I want to, we need live fact checkers, and just rumor busters. You know what I mean? I'm curious to watch that from a perspective of I want to watch it and record it and then play it back for Carrie when everything that was promised has been underdelivered, if delivered at all.
But they're going to talk about Fallout 76. I don't give a shit. They're going to talk about Elder Scrolls Blades. Don't care. They're probably going to mention Rage 2 DLC. Certainly don't give a fuck about that. I'm trying to figure out what Bethesda is going to come with that I'm going to care about. I'm sure they'll have a couple surprises up their sleeve. They'll have an extended gameplay look at Doom Eternal. That's cool. Not a really big Doom guy, but you know, I'm sure it'll look awesome. Yeah, I just it's that, and that's why, like I said, I hate to be a fucking downer because this is the time of year that I'm the most hype. But it's just hard to figure out like what's coming that I'm gonna be excited about. And I guess the biggest thing I'm wishing for is for the surprises. Like I hope the surprises are really cool and substantial. Like, and I really hope a lot of companies have subscribed to the theory that Bethesda's been doing, and that, you know, a lot of other game companies have been doing, where they're not talking about their games until 5 months before the game comes out, and then they can surprise us with that and have gameplay right out of the gate and have, you know, substantial stuff to talk about. That's what'll be cool if it's something to get excited for. But this E3 is just so fucking weird. What else are you hoping to see this year?
I'm hoping to see Randy Pitchford nowhere near this thing.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
I don't know. I'm not really into hardware. I don't want any new hardware just yet. I mean, I guess no, I'm not even gonna lie and say I'd be looking forward to a new Gears, because I couldn't finish Gears 4. And I like that franchise, but it just kind of fell off for me. I'm actually, yeah, I don't know. I want to sit back and I want to be entertained. I want something to hit me. And it's really hard to guess what they're going to do, because I have no clue as to what any company think. I want Microsoft to wow me, because, you know, we get on them because it's their time in this console war. They're at the bottom. They're not at the top anymore. So but I do want them to succeed, and I want them to show me something that's substantial. And I think they'll have their presentation will be like a gentleman's C, just like respectable. It's perfectly fine. If you want to graduate, all right. I mean, dude, technically
in this opportunity, if they come with a gentleman's C,
right. That's like what I'm saying.
Like this is it for them, man. Like they have been handed an opportunity that nobody has ever had.
Yeah,
they have license to dunk on Sony with reckless abandon because they're not there to hit back. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. Like this is their shot. This is their shot. Like if they are going to be a fucking force to be reckoned with in Generation 9, this is their shot.
I don't think they'll do it though. I don't think they'll do it. I think you'll get the trailers.
And look, we ragged on Terrence at the beginning of the segment, but he's right. Trailers just aren't enough anymore.
Nope.
They're not. You got to show gameplay.
Yeah.
You've got to show me doing cool shit. And I get it's a vertical slice and it's not going to be indicative of the entire game. I get all that other stuff. But just fucking show me a pre-rendered cutscene trailer is not sufficient anymore.
Yeah.
You might bookmark my interest for 6 months down the road when you actually have something to show me. Oh, there's one more thing. I hope that we get more. I hope we get a release date for Cyberpunk. The one game that I am the most excited for of all of those games.
You think that's
It's not coming out this year. I don't think it's coming out this year, but I do hope that we get at least maybe a release window. Like I'd be satisfied with the spring 2020. And oh, by the way, here's 20 more minutes of new gameplay that you haven't seen before.
I think that game is like prime for like a next generation launch.
You think so? You don't think that they'll that it'll be this generation's great swan song? Kind of the Last of Us for Generation 8 of sorts.
I hope so, but I think it'll be, if at best, I think it'll be like that one Zelda game that came out for for both consoles for the.
Oh, I think it'll be playable on the new stuff, but I hope it doesn't wait for the new stuff to release.
I'm afraid it might wait for the new stuff.
But I want that game now. I want it now. Like, I don't want to have to wait.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I look forward to when is E3? When is E3?
It sort of starts Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday are the days to care about. And then Tuesday, Wednesday is the show proper. And that's also when Jeff Keighley is going to be doing his E3 like Coliseum panels, which some are very good, some are not. I usually catch like a quarter of them about the ones that are most interesting to me. So.
I'm not going to say I hate Jeff Keighley because I watch him, you know, and I don't think that hate watching is a thing. But God damn, that guy gets on my nerves.
Well, look, as long as he's not talking about Hideo Kojima, I like Jeff Keighley. When he gets on his Kojima kicks, no thank you. No thank you. I get he's your best friend and you want to support him and no, but it's over the top, Jeff.
Yeah. Come on, Geoff.
It's over the top.
Like, what are we doing here, man?
As far as we go, listeners, I know we're not doing anything live for E3, partially because I have to work on Sunday, partially just because I don't know. I feel like this year we got to let it digest.
Yeah.
So my thoughts, and we're doing this. You're seeing behind the curtain. We're working this out in real time. I know that I think it would be a good idea for me and Carrie to do we'll do a Bethesda Nintendo episode on Tuesday, because Carrie cares a hell of a lot more about both of those than anybody else on the show is going to.
Yeah.
And I think that depending on what Microsoft shows, see, that's the thing. I think it's really dependent on what we see. I think if Microsoft brings the fire, we might have to do a Microsoft episode. And then if not, then maybe we just lump them in with everything else that's not Bethesda Nintendo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. You know, we're in a wait and see mode, and that's just so weird.
It is very weird. It is very weird. Normally, we'd be telling you, "Hey, we're gonna fucking be pre and post for Microsoft and pre and post for Sony, and we're gonna have 3 podcasts for you on Tuesday." It's like, no, we just gotta wait to see what fucking happens, because we really don't know what it's gonna look like this year.
We have to wait and see if it's worth our time. Wow, like I didn't think E3 would come to this. E3 is like, you know, that 40-year-old single guy still throwing parties and shit. Like everybody else is fucking gone off and they got families. They're doing their own fucking thing, and you're trying to rope people in, dude. Like,
so what I'm going to tell you guys, listeners, is just subscribe, and we don't know when stuff's going to drop. Don't expect the regular Monday episode. But maybe you will get something Monday, because maybe Microsoft's going to be so compelling that we have to talk about it.
Yeah,
right away. Maybe not.
So.
Maybe we might have to wait till Tuesday. We'll see. Sorry to not have something more concrete for you, but
yeah, hey,
it's a weird year.
It's not our fault.
It's not our fault. Really, you can blame Sony. If Sony was here, I feel like we'd probably be sticking to the regular schedule. So Sony leaving has thrown such a wrench into the works when it comes to E3. God damn it, Sony.
There you go.
God
Brad,
damn you.
Quote Brad, blame Sony.
It is Sony's fault. Watch them be dicks and still announce something fucking megaton during E3. Like, we're not here, but we're gonna lay out the biggest news of the week. Thanks, guys. See ya. Watch them do it right before Microsoft's presentation on Sunday too. Oh my god, I would fucking love it. I would fucking love it. Or do it right after, like while people are like clicking their keyboards, like fucking throw, like, look over here, like, oh shit. So, but again, keep your ears peeled to what we got coming out. Again, like I said, we just couldn't do the live stuff this year because it just doesn't. I don't know. We're just not as excited. We don't want to do the live stuff and us be fucking downers during the pre-show.
Yeah. So nobody wants that.
So like I said, we'll wait to see what E3 gives us, and then we will give E3 the proper response. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
There you go.
So again, densepixels.com/fans. What I can promise is that during the press conferences, we will probably be doing live, like watch along threads on Facebook, and that'll be in the fan group. So again, densepixels.com/fans to get in on the chat with that. It's always a good time fucking bullshitting back and forth with everybody. Make sure you follow us on social media at densepixels. Again, what podcatching app you use, subscribe to the show. Go to YouTube, youtube.com/densepixels. Subscribe there as well. If you want to see Terrence stream on Twitch, he is Apparition410, and Carrie is Suppets Carrie. So that is it for us this week. We will see you guys in various forms next week. Happy E3. Maybe you'll get fucking emergency pod with me and Micah on like Thursday or Friday, or on Friday. I guess it would have to be Friday this week if Stadia has something that's of note that we need to talk about. And yeah, so play it by ear, guys. We'll fucking see you.
We'll see you.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here, and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.